So prayer is a weapon, and most of us don't use it. Accordingly, we pose no significant threat to the devil. The devil was not afraid of us in 2017, and he won't be afraid of you in 2018 unless you begin to pray. Some of us have never pulled the trigger of prayer, and we're unlikely to pull it now. You see, if someone was attacking you and you had a weapon, you would use it, right? Yes. Well, guess what? The devil is attacking us, and prayer is a weapon, and we are not using it. Why? We've become so incapacitated with our superficial success, our preaching, and our large churches, our television shows, and our music programs, and our Facebook likes, and we've holstered our weapon of prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we are at war. And Dennis Smith, in his book, Spirit, Baptism, and Prayer, on page 28, he makes this statement. He says, every Christian is involved in warfare against the enemy with eternal consequences at stake. End of quote. We're at war, and much is at stake. But if you didn't get it in verse 11, Paul states it again for us here in verse 13 now. He says, well, we're at war, and so he says to us, wherefore, take unto you what? The whole armor of God. And there's a comma there. You got to do what? You got to pause. And so why am I putting on the whole armor of God? He says that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to do what? To stand. And so you thought that 2017 was bad and it's not even over yet. Guess what? You haven't seen anything yet. You see, a new year is coming, and this war is real. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to get you what? Ready. And I'm trying to remind you now that prayer is the what? The great essential. Stick with me. And so this war is not imaginary. This war is not fake news. Come on, somebody. This war is real. It is not a figment of your or my imagination. So we need to arm ourselves and be ready. Armor is necessary for this war. But moreover, it's not just any type of armor. It's spiritual armor is necessary for a spiritual war. Come on, somebody. And so you can fight a spiritual war with temporal armor. And so Paul says to us, put on the whole armor of who? Of God. And so here it is now. Here it is. The whole armor of God. Let me read it to you now as they pull it up in the Good News translation. Let me break it down. This is how it reads in the Good News translation. He says to us, Paul says to us, do all this in prayer, asking for God's help. Pray on every occasion as the Spirit leads. For this reason, keep alert and never give up. Pray always for all God's people. And Paul is saying to us, he's saying to us, stand courageously. Stand fully armed, but this one additional thing is necessary, he says, for victory in this spiritual war. He says, do all this, put on your belt, your breastplate, your boots, your shield, your helmet, and sword. Put on all this while praying. And so Paul wants you to know that prayer is the great essential. There's another verse. And so some of us are armed, and we think we're dangerous. We have a false sense of security in this spiritual war. You see, some of us are walking around saying, I got the belt of truth. I'm covered with God's righteousness. We're going around saying, I've been a Seventh-day Adventist all my life, and my feet are covered. I got the gospel. And we're saying, I got my shield. I have faith, and I know where my salvation lies. And I got the Bible. I got the sword. But we're armed, belt, breastplate, boots, shield, helmet, and sword, but we're not praying, and our defensive systems are weak, and our offensive systems are inefficient.